All right. Hello. I haven't made one of these in quite a while, but I felt like it was important for me to dive a little deeper on this day. Um, Not just because of the context of the day itself and the trading, but also where I'm at in my trading in particular. Um, to me, it feels like I'm incredibly close to really having some major breakthroughs. My process in terms of how I'm reading the market and assessing where the action is generally headed, I think is incredibly strong. I think I get caught up on a few of these self control and patience focus aspects of my trading. And that's kind of where I want to be at. And that's where I want to focus in this video. Because it is currently, well, this date was on December 29th, 2025. We're at all-time highs. The market is grindy. There's a lot of crazy stuff and amazing action in silver, but this is low volume, holiday, end of year grind. There's absolutely no reason for me to be pushing trades, trading very aggressively, getting very involved, and doing some of the acrobatics that I was doing today, especially on a day like this, right? And I think this just kind of further emphasizes and supports a lot of the current issues that I'm facing, which is something like, which is this example of like when I'm down, I will really want to push. I really want to get re-involved in the market. I want to jump back in, make it back, feel better, etc., etc. And when I'm up, I want to kick back. I want to pat myself on the back. I want to relax, not do anything, not push, all of that. And it should be the opposite. When I'm down, I need to really take a step back, scale down, assess the structures, my TLs, where I really think the market is headed, plan for my setups, all of that. Not be entering trade. And this little section here is a great example where I have 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. And in the span of like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're not really able to assess what's going on in the market as price develops. You're just more focused on where's the next trade, where's the next entry. So that's really, in my opinion, one of those principles, one of those key practices that I think separates mediocre traders from people who can really consistently make money. And I think that's one of the things that's also holding me back as I get into these phases, these stages, and I end up taking just like trades that I would never take if I was really focused, really selective. So let's just kind of start off breaking it down piece by piece, minute by minute. So the day starts off with like pretty horrible action. Like this is very strange. You don't really see this. But it's not unexpected. This is a holiday all-time high grind. So I was kind of aware of that, and you can see my first trade here. This short. I mean, where is a very clear right shoulder? Where's liquidity for me to grab? Where's a very clear structure? Things like that. It's just not there, right? No cup close. There's not enough confirmations and information on the TLs. So I'm just kind of like shooting from the hip, shooting blindly, trying to find something. And again, I'm giving myself 4 very strict entries. You need to be professional and picky about this. You need to be selective. 4 good quality entries. That's more than enough. That's all you need to make $1 million trading, right? Like Evanis does it with one great quality entry, and he will sit and watch the market from the open for all the way to the mid-afternoon if he has to, right? He will sit and not take a trade for hours until he sees something that's screaming at him, and he'll take it because it looks that good. no, like this short doesn't look that good. Maybe for a quick scalp it's okay, but that's not what I really want. I want to be waiting for the quality setups, for the really good quality setups. And this is just not one of them. There's just not enough information here. So it does break down. I do see the little roll here, this white resistance. It's very thin, and you have to be protecting very quickly then. All right, if you're going to take that, which I shouldn't be, at the very least, you get in the money, get out, especially if you're at a very clear support here, which we were. I saw this white building support here, but I held, it came back, and it got me out. All right, and then what? 5 minutes passed by, and it should be noted that this short here and this long as well, the perfect example of me getting sucked into the candles. I don't really have a plan of what I want to see next. Normally I do, but at this stage there's just not enough for me to work with. But I don't have a clear plan of what I want to see. There's not a very well thought out assessment of what the candles are trying to do, and the TLs, and the structure, the liquidity, and all these things. And because of that, when I see these candles, move very quickly, form these big wicks, close down hard, and you start seeing that momentum breaking out higher. You start chasing candle movement. You start chasing price and these bars. And that's a nasty position to be in, especially on a low volume grind day like this. So there's something in that, which is that when you lack that structure, that process and plan for what you want to be seeing, you'll just take anything. You'll just settle for whatever you see. And this is such a great example of that. There's no reason for me to be in this long. I had this white here, which I think was the breakout of it. There's no alignment of liquidity here. There's not a very clear right shoulder either. No retracement. And we're just kind of grinding down after this strong bar. Right? There's still resistance all over here. Right? So it's just a very messy trade. It's just a very impulsive last second. Oh, I need to get involved. Where's the liquidity on the breakout here, right? Where's the real liquidity to be grabbed, or a real high or low? And we're just grinding. You want to be kind of catching these flip ups. I mean, you see it, right? Top of the channel, top of the channel, top of the channel, bottom of the channel, bottom. Then it needs to be from here. But that's not a trade I'd be taking anyways. So yeah, back-to-back kind of chasing candle movement FOMO trades. You have 2 bullets on each account in 2 accounts. Are these really the trades you want to be taking? Does this look absolutely gorgeous to you? It doesn't. And because I took a break even on the first one, because I kind of took a shitty quick trade on the second one, oh, okay, I get one more. And that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. That defeats the whole purpose of being very selective and very professional about every single entry that I'm taking, right? And in fact, this actually wouldn't have been a bad short. I had this too, like we're coming into resistance. Most breakouts are failing. We have this wedge here, this channel. Take the little roll here on this wick. Take that roll over. Get your money and get out. No need to be going crazy about this. So we continue lower. Nothing here that I see. I see the yellow, and I see the continuation of the white that we had from here. And we come into support. I see some liquidity building here, and I try and catch this knife here, which I don't really do. I'm trying to catch like the absolute turn here. I haven't done that in a while, and I want to keep it that way. This is just a trade that, like, yes, I nailed it. I actually did end up manually stopping out. My original stop would not have gotten hit, but a trade like this, it's not really the type of trading that I want to be doing. I want more confirmations. I want more structure, more information, more feel for what's really going on. This is still a little too dodgy for me. Yes, I see the liquidity here. Yes, I see the transition from the teal. Now we're selling in the yellow, being caught up by the white. But this is still a little too fast. What I prefer is, assessing and understanding that tapering, the shift in the colors. We do get the breakout, and the reason I kind of cut this is because I wanted this to just run. We get the breakout, and then we get this little right shoulder, right? Which I've been seeing that pattern where it comes down, tapers off. You get the little turn, and that turn rolls over, and what should have sold off to a new low forms a higher low right here. And this is your real low, right? Low, higher low, and then you get the boom. And that's kind of what we have here, right? We're supposed to go, and it rolls over, we get the higher low. And this would have been an entry, right? Because there's clear liquidity on the break here. You have that little higher low, that micro higher low. You know there's tapering, right? So the gradient of the selling is weakened. And you can also use a very tight stop here. So 47.50, use a like a 2-point stop, right? And you're absolutely golden on that breakout. So, yeah. But again, like this entry just didn't feel good, right? There's almost and I'm very familiar with this. There's a feeling on some of these trades where I'm really confident in what I'm seeing, and I'm taking the trade and I'm like, this is just a good trade. I don't care what happens. I'm not even like really stressing over what's going to happen. I'm just fully convinced that this is a good trade no matter what happens. And when I take those trades, oh my gosh, they're my highest win rate trades. But then these trades are the kind of ones where it's like at the last second, oh, okay. Oh, maybe. And it's a really impulsive and unprofessional way of doing things. And I'm thinking about this, right? Because it's like, this is not a game. Like it's very much gamified. You're on the computer here smashing buttons, but this is really serious. To do this well, it requires an immense level of professionalism. And that's something I need to take more seriously, right? When I played music, you would never mess around on the instrument. It's a waste of time. It actually makes you worse. Every time you pick up the instrument, you pick it up in a way where it's like, okay, like I'm going to play to the absolute best of my ability because this is my livelihood. This is my career, right? And it's a similar thing with trading. When you start rage trading, revenge trading, or even doing stuff like this, right? Enter, re-enter, oh, pivot, enter, re-enter. Oh, okay, oh, pivot here, long, short, right? Like on these really just weak moves, weak structures, you're just reinforcing bad habits. Be okay with missing trades. Be okay with just sitting there. The best traders I know, some of these guys, they can wait hours. And they'll just sit there and wait until they see something that's absolutely just screaming at them. Like, is this long here really screaming at me? Is this long? Is that a screaming buy? Is that something that's like, oh my God, that's an incredible trade? Absolutely not. So, and that goes for this short and this short as well. So, yeah, I have to be asking myself these questions. It's like, and I have to embody this identity when I trade, which is when I pull up the computer and I open the charts and the market opens, like it's time for me to act and be a professional, because this is a professional game. This impulsiveness, this jumping in, this pivoting, this inability to follow really basic rules, like 10-minute breaks and things like that, which I've been following for the most part pretty well recently, but has fallen apart the past 2 days. That inability, it's a lack of professionalism. It's just a complete lack of responsibility and respect for what I'm doing. And the thing is, like, you'll never make it if you can't really be able to at least focus in and implement some hard discipline and responsibility for at least a little bit of time, right? For a while. Because like trades like this short, this long, like these are avoidable. These trades don't represent me. And I'm absolutely confident about that. That when I am trading from a very controlled and relaxed state of mind, I absolutely would not be taking these trades. But it's because I started weak. It's because that the action isn't great, and oh my god, I got stopped out by like 2 ticks here, and oh, I need to get back in. I need to be. I'm down on P&L, but my reach is so good. Oh my gosh, I have to be taking the next trade. Where's the next trade? On a day like this, and this grinding holiday action, and you can't even follow the basics of your process for trades. Like each entry, you have 4 entries. That's more than enough. I mean, it's more than enough, really. So why is this just like, why does this just not count? Why does this not count? Why am I taking 6 trades? Right. So, yeah. And that's what the mindset I want to be coming into on today and moving forward in 2026, which is just like, this is a very professional activity. I'm trying to do something that you cannot afford to mess around and be relaxing and unfocused, irresponsible. It's like, no, this is a professional level activity. You better be treating it like one. Because these kinds of trades, they're just not okay. It's just not acceptable. And this sort of trading from this sort of mindset, from this mental space. So come to the charts, and you better be able to wait for that incredible screaming buy or screaming sell. And have that discipline to not be impulsive, to not be gambling, to not be impatient, to be able to just sit and wait on your hands. That's where the professionalism really comes in. You want to be a professional, you want to be great at this. I am convinced that that's absolutely required. Because as far as the technicals and the reads go, I have a lot of confidence in myself. I really do. I have a lot of confidence in that. I feel like I can read the market very well. So, yeah. Moving forward, this short, or this long, and I saw this, and I was on this bar. Okay, long. I was saying that right shoulder supports. The break of yellow, absolutely gorgeous. Signing up with this liquidity. But I also, last second, I hadn't even planned the trade. Within 5 seconds, I see the wick here. Oh, okay, it's done. And I short. All right. We hadn't even broken out of the orange. I had my orange at the time. The liquidity is here, aligned with this break. Not even a lower high, something like this. And this is a pretty strong rally, holding that right shoulder. So what is that trade? Where was the plan and reasoning behind it? Because I just don't see it. I don't know. It's just it's a mess. And I did see the long plan there, so I was like, okay, I'm going to pivot long. I can pivot long here. And again, not okay. Give yourself 10 minutes. And in this case, I think this is 3 trade. Yeah, this is your 2 trades. Then be done. That's your 2 trades. Those are, this was so amazing that you used your last and final trade of the day on that, right? And that's where the 10-minute break comes in. It's like, you better take breaks because there's going to be other great setups. You don't have to be rushing into this one, and this is your last one. But I ignore it. Oh, I take a break even though I can take another one. And you get screwed here on a really weak trade. But yeah, I read this. This was very clear to me. I was like, okay, I have to pivot. I took the long. I bought at the absolute high. Here, right shoulder. You can't take the break here. It's just too wicky. It doesn't really align clearly. There's not like a really beautiful patch of liquidity here. So very wicky. High probability it's going to retest. That's exactly what we get. And I do catch this move, but then again, a little tighter entry, I would have been able to put my stop here. Also, here, this was good because of the angle of the reclaim. It was like, when it's more like, when the selling is more like this, and the bar reclaims, right? I think that's a little cleaner, but this was like an almost vertical reclaim, right? So I wanted those 2 bars, the double test that I always am looking for, and that kind of saved me from going long here, along with no real high or low. But like we come out and it's very vertical. I want to double test before I go. I see this bar. It's not really able to gain that momentum, trade higher, so I'm not chasing it. See it come, and it just breaks down. So I managed to avoid it. But yeah, this was, I sat out of this because I was very picky. I was just patiently waiting for the nuances of these wicks to really set up perfectly, because it very rarely just breaks out, quick bar, retest, goes. It oftentimes was sort of double wick here, round out, and then we get to move higher. So I stopped. I managed to avoid that, going long there. So we get these moves here, nothing crazy, and we get the breakdown. And again, like this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, which is like I'm so involved in looking for the next trade. In how many minutes? 20 minutes? 3 trades in 20 minutes? Like, what is going on? I'm so desperately looking for the next trade. I'm not actively charting. I'm not actively trying to figure out what are the structures and what exactly is going on here, and the TLs and things like that, like my green. So, like this trade it's like, okay, you have a pre-trade checklist, which is I need to see my LH. Oh, this is your LH, this is your lower high. All right, then put the stop above there. Of course, I'm not going to. So this isn't a real lower high. This is the breakdown, and we get this sideways consolidation, and I'm trading in the middle of that sideways consolidation. What is this bias here? Look at the wick. Oh, let me trade in the middle of 1, 2, 3, 4, like doji wick bars that aren't going anywhere. What am I expecting? This was a short. And I saw the potential for shorts here. The controlled buying in red, the top anti-algo of the yellow, the just structural lower high, this liquidity here to be grabbed, juicy, very, very nice here, beautiful breakdown, right? So I saw the potential for shorts there. But again, those key points, those key plans, like your lower high, like the roll, and I mess it up here. And, this was a little too aggressive. I did nail it. But you see this, and you can't long here, right? Reclaim above, but where's the liquidity? This? No, you need to at least see the cup close, right? Okay, the cup close. Some controlled buying, selling, back to yellow, right? Like your yellow or your white, blue, back to yellow support, and then breakout. But you can't long this breakout. Like what are you grabbing? This? All the liquidity is to the downside here, not up here, and we're already past all of this. So yeah, this long just didn't make sense. But I see that roll, right? I'm a little earlier here because my chart was more like that. But if you're on this sort of chart, you see the close back in yellow, you see the rejection, you see that rolling over. You see the liquidity here. You see the lower high right here, right? Gorgeous breakdown. And it retests the green, gets short, stops above here. Gorgeous breakdown, grab, lower high, nested, right? Head, left, head, left, right, head, nested, right? So perfect. We see that just gorgeously here. So, I don't know, I felt good about these reads and things like that, but your head was just not, my head's not in the right space, and I took this all the way down perfectly into that green support. I saw it bounce off that very aggressively, the volume capitulating. Okay, I'm out. And then this was just very uneventful. And based off the 30-minute chart, we were in a kind of slightly strong, pretty decently strong controlled selling. And then rejecting off the, unable to break out of the highs of the channel and unable to break down below the lows of the channel. That was essentially the day. Hence this, but we were just controlled in that, we were in that controlled selling. So it was not a day to really be going crazy, even especially with that higher time frame context. So we see this teal here, teal here, teal here. And that was a very clear read for me. And there's some stuff in here, like the whites selling. But I managed to largely avoid that. This would have been a nice breakdown if you're trying to do all this. But yeah, I was largely done at this point. No point in going too crazy around here. But yeah, this would have been nice. This was just on sim for fun. Seeing these reclaims. And then taking this blue breakout. Once we have the right shoulder here. Right shoulder, clean time. So, yeah, that pretty much is it. Thank you very much for listening.